What's up, guys? Haim the Dropout here again, and now we're going to jump into Facebook ads targeting. I really need you to keep an open mind with this lesson, because everything I'm going to show you probably goes against everything you've learned before, everything you read online, all of the strategies that other gurus are sharing, all of the targeting strategies, advanced targeting strategies, and so on. What I'm going to show you today and in this lesson goes against all of that. So it's up to you to keep an open mind and give a chance to what I'm teaching you. That's why you paid me. Or you could keep doing what everyone else is telling you to do and probably not have results. Trust me, I've tried both, and it's my method that has gotten me to a few $1,000,000 in sales, and not what I've been reading online and not what other people are sharing, which is absolute nonsense with advanced targeting and the way they set up their interests and all that stuff, and how they use audience insights and so on. All of that to me is irrelevant. I keep it very, very, very simple, and I'll tell you why. The reason I keep it simple is because if you want to scale a product to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 sales in a short matter of time, you need a wide, very wide audience. You need to be able to cast a net over a huge audience, not a very targeted small audience. If you use those strategies where the deeper targeting and all that stuff, all it's going to do is give you a small audience that you won't be able to scale. So even if you're profitable, you'll be profitable at 10 sales a day, 20 sales a day, which is not what we're looking for. It's not what I'm here to teach you. My goal is to get you to do $1,000,000 in sales like me. I've done it a few times and I'm going to do it again. Why? Because there's a certain method that I use, and most of it relies on product selection and less on targeting. People focus too much on targeting, on picking a niche, stuff like that. All it does is limit you and limit how fast you can grow and how fast you can scale. So I want you to really forget everything you've learned before, and I want you to keep an open mind to see what I'm doing. I am literally teaching you what I've done, what has brought me tons of results. If you want to stick with the other stuff that you've learned online, then there's no point for you to do this course, because clearly you know everything already, and that's it. There's no point for you to learn this. But what I'm going to teach you may sound simple and it may look easy, but it's taken me, I've spent $1,000,000 on Facebook ads. So trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it as a one-man show. I don't hire agencies. I don't hire marketers outside. I do everything myself. I will show you how basic my targeting strategy is. In future lessons, we'll talk about scaling, lookalike audiences, custom audiences, and so on. But this is my basic targeting strategy, and I'm going to jump into it right now. This is an ad account that I don't really use. I'm using it for the lessons to show you stuff. Sometimes I'll jump into my real account to show you results and stuff like that. But for just targeting, I could show you this on a brand new account with nothing on it. And I'm going to show you a product that I did probably $100,000 on, which was for me nothing. I ditched the product because it wasn't scalable fast enough. So I'm going to show you that product, and I'll show you how I targeted it and what worked out for me. And I want you to apply the same strategies to when you have a good product. But most of all, I want you to understand, based on my targeting strategy, how to pick a good product that would fit. So let's jump into it. First, I'll show you the product. All right, so the product I'm going to focus on is this one right here. You've probably seen it on Facebook ads. Maybe you haven't. Either way, this is a cool product. There's cool video ads for it online that could be used because it was originally an infomercial. You'll see that on AliExpress it sells for $1.35. If you switch it to ePacket, it's probably another $1.50 extra. It's $3 extra here. Again, you could negotiate these rates based on your volume. Either way, the total price is $4.30. I sold this product originally for $34.97. At $34.97, my conversion rate wasn't good enough, and I was getting complaints about the quality in terms of the price. So I dropped it to, I believe, $23.97, and that's when it was doing well. Again, it wasn't scalable enough for me, so I dropped it. Chances are I would have continued with it if I wasn't focused on other stuff, but I was focused on other products that were much more profitable, so I focused on them. But this could have been a success. I might still jump into it, who knows? But as of now, I just want to show you how I targeted this product, and I want you to understand that this product that is $4.30 on AliExpress, I was selling for $24. Earlier on, $35 and then $24. Now, what's amazing about it is with my strategies, again, you get people to buy more than one unit. That's where the money is. The money's not necessarily on your first sale, even though it is on the first sale, because $4.30, if I'm selling it at 24 bucks, I have a nice $19 to play with. Let's say I spend $10 on getting a sale, I have a nice $9 profit, which is amazing. You're doing 100 sales a day, you're almost at $1,000 a day profit. All right, now let's jump into targeting for this kind of product. What I'm gonna do is I'll do here, and I'll do as if I'm creating a campaign. I just wanna show you how I target. First, I want you to understand also how I'm taking a general product. This appeals to almost everyone. There's no niche here. There's literally nothing to it. It's a product that appeals to everyone. Everyone uses Q-tips, and it's your job and my job to be able to present this as a Q-tip replacement, a safe alternative, and so on. You have to stop thinking about Facebook ads and targeting as a secret recipe or a secret trick or something that you need to know, or that you need to go into deep targeting and find out people's interest. Like, I wasn't marketing this to people who read medical magazines, which is what most of the gurus are telling you to do, is target people who spend time on medical forums for a product like this. No, that's absolute nonsense. You don't want to focus on those kind of people. People who spend time on medical forums probably know that you shouldn't be sticking anything into your ear, let alone something from China or a Q-tip, right? So a lot of the stuff that's out there is plain and simple wrong, and I want you to get it out of your head. You don't have to focus on magazines that people read, stores they shop at, stuff like that. Like, what would you target here? Walgreens? Is that what gurus are recommending? No. So let's start off fresh, and let's see how I turn this product into being profitable. I'm gonna jump in here. And like I said before in the other lessons, I start right away with conversions and purchases. People are gonna tell you to waste your time with engagement, traffic, and stuff like that until you build up your pixel and all of that. This was working, I'd say, at most 6 months ago. I even had a little pixel course that I put out to test out the market, and I was even recommending warming up your pixel with engagement, traffic, and so on. That is done. It's old news. Facebook will give you the shittiest of the shittiest traffic if you bid on these things. You want to go straight to conversions, and you want to go straight for purchases, even if you have no purchases. So what I'm gonna do here, again, the pixel on this ad account is not set up, so it's probably not letting me select purchases. But for you, once you have a purchase or your pixel is active, you'll be able to select purchases. I'm gonna show you also a bit about how I name my campaigns and things like that to keep things organized. So I would name this, let's say, wax remover. I would put the date, December 26th. And then I could put A in case, because I'm going to do a whole bunch of campaigns. I'm going to name them A, B, C, D, and so on. I could also usually do something like FB 1226A to keep it easy so I could spot it out right away. And it helps me when I search for campaigns in my ad account. I know pretty much what they're named. Jump into continue, and let's go. I'm going to show you how simple it is to target. What you want to focus on is either a product is profitable and scalable, or it's not. That doesn't have anything to do with your targeting strategy. It has to do with your ad copy. It has to do with your product name, your product description, your product price, and yes, of course, someone you're targeting, but it is not as complicated as people make it seem. People make it seem very complicated because when they sell you a course or when they sell you coaching or consulting, they want to make it seem like they're giving you tons of value. But at the end of the day, all they're doing is complicated things. It's mostly fluff. There isn't any real value in it. And then it just confuses you, and you keep trying, and you try to find, you'll spend days finding the magazines that people read, the forums they browse, the sites they buy on, blah, 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 in order to test a small product with a small audience that probably won't work out or will get you 10 sales a day, which is absolutely useless. So bear with me. Use my strategy. If it doesn't work, get back to me. All right, so first, I always personally start with the US market. It's my favorite market. It's big and there's a lot of buyers. So I love testing out products and scaling them even on the US market. Once I used and I abused the US market, if my fulfillment allows it, then I'll move to Europe. And then worldwide, depending, there's countries that I don't do, there's countries that I do, but to keep it simple, we're gonna focus simply on the US, which is the best market. If your product doesn't work on the US, it probably won't work anywhere else. And if it does, it'll be too small of a market. You won't be able to scale to $1 million. All right, so here, always select purchase. When you're starting out, always select purchase. When you are scaling, you could try stuff like add to cart, initiate checkout, build lookalike audiences based on those, and so on. But when you're starting out, you go straight to purchase. I don't care what anybody else says about you have to warm up, you have to go view content, landing pages views. It's nonsense. Forget that. It doesn't work. Again, when I say something doesn't work and stuff like that, maybe someone else made it work with another product in another market, in another type of business, and so on. I'm not technically saying that everything else is wrong and only my way is right. All I'm saying is my way works. I've done it and I'm sharing it with you. You could choose to listen or not listen, but you paid me. So listen, use the advice, use the value that I give you. All right, so purchase here. I'm always going US. And let's go. Let's jump into this. I'm going to go United States. Don't ever target multiple locations at once. There's different time zones. There are different languages. There's different, not only is the language different, for example, English and French, but there's different types of English depending on where you are in the world. If I market to a European country in English, I'm gonna use much simpler English than if I'm marketing to English in the US or English in the UK. So always use one location per ad set if you're gonna start going after many locations. Now we're doing just United States. Again, this is the product. So of course I'm gonna ask myself some questions like who might be using this, who's gonna be interested in using this, and so on. I'm eventually also gonna show you some ads that I wrote for this, and you'll see how important the ad copy is. All right, let's jump in here. Purchase, United States. Okay. What age do I think people are gonna buy this for? Someone who's 18, doesn't care. 18 to 24, I would say, don't care at all about this. In fact, 24 to 35, don't care at all about this. You're now, understand why I'm using the from 18 to 24, 24 to 35. It's because the breakdown on Facebook ads, in fact, I'm going to show you right now. Just one second. All right, I just jumped into one of my real ad accounts just to show you why I'm using age groups. When I'm talking about age groups, I talk about 18 to 24, 24 to 35. That's because when you're in your Facebook ads dashboard and you're looking at your conversions and your sales to see what's doing better in order to scale, you could go here, breakdown, and you'll go age, and it'll break it down into these age groups. So if I'm targeting, for example, 18 to 20, I won't know what's the actual age group. Or if I'm 18 to 20 actually doesn't work because it'll be 18 to 24. But if I do 20 to 26, then I won't know if the person belongs in the 25 to 34 age group or the 18 to 24 age group. So that's why you always have to be using the same age groups that Facebook uses. That's how you know which is performing best. You see they have 35 to 44, 45 to 54, 25 to 34, there's 18 to 24, 55 to 64, and 65 plus. That's how you should be targeting your ads in these age groups. You could do 2 of them at a time, for example, 35 to 54, but it's not smart to do 30 to 37 because then you won't know if it belongs here or the sale belongs here. You won't know which age group to target in order to scale. All right, let's jump back into the other account to show you how I target. All right, so as I was saying earlier, 18-year-olds are not looking for safe earwax removal. They're not looking for that, so I'm not going to waste my money on that because it's an assumption that I could basically and easily do. I don't have to use tools like Audience Insights to figure that out. It's common sense. You have to think about like a user, like a buyer. It's very simple. You have to think, it's like marketing 101. You have to know your customer a bit. Who would buy this? Older people. I'm going to show you how I get deeper into it. So scratch the 18 to 24. Age group is no good here. Even 25 to 34, I'm personally 30 years old, and I would never buy anything like that because I couldn't care less. If I have a Q-tip lying around and something's bothering me, I'll use it, but I will most definitely not sign up online to buy a product like that. Who would buy something like this? I would say 35 to 65 plus. And I'll tell you my reasoning. Most people who would buy something like this is usually if they have kids and they're concerned about the kids' well-being. This is not the kind of product that you usually buy for yourself. If you buy it for yourself, it's because you also have kids and you're going to buy it for the kids. That's mostly what it's for. It's a family product. It's a household product. It is not something that you treat yourself to. It's not a present that you do yourself. No, it's something that you buy if you have other people with you who are going to use it and benefit for it. And it's usually you're buying it for people who can't buy it themselves, whether they're older or you know, whether they're old people or whether they're kids. I'm sorry if that sounds rude about the old people, but that's just the way life works. We're all going to be old one day. All right, so I chose my age group. Now, what else do I want to do is I know that this is going to work for kids mostly, and I'll show you why later on when I show you my ad. You'll understand why. This is a product that you want to focus on fear. When people are going to buy this, you want to make them afraid that if they're not using this, they could be causing damage to their ears. So instead of doing a stupid ad like everyone else that says, oh, 50% off, get this today with a link, this is not the type of product you do this with. This is a product that you have to instill a bit of fear into people, making them think that if they don't buy it, that's the absolute wrong decision that they could do. So let's get back to it. In targeting, I want to hit two birds with one stone. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put parents. Now, when I have parents, the selection, first let me show you how to, when you search something, you don't get all of the options here. So what I'm going to do is browse, demographics, parents, and I'm going to ask myself a question. Who buys this? Who's going to need this? What kids, what age? Kids who are 13 to 18? Most probably not. Parents who have kids in that age? Not really. Teenagers are hard to even talk to, let alone get them to use a spiral remover for the wax in their ears, right? What you do want to focus on is parents who have kids that are too young to make their own decisions yet. So what I'm going to do is 8 to 12 years old, 3 to 5 years old. I'm going to skip 1 to 2 years because no parent is putting anything in their kids' ears at that age. If there's ever anything to do, you bring them to the doctor and that's it. So I'm gonna save my money and not waste it on that. 6 to 8 years old is probably perfect. Let's see if I have any other age groups here. No, I don't. So I'm gonna focus on parents who are 35 to 65 years old between the age of 3 to 12, who have kids between the age of 3 to 12. I'm going to turn this off. Expand interest when it may increase conversions at a lower cost. I'm going to turn it off because as of now, my pixel has no data. So Facebook doesn't know what my cost per conversion is. And I don't want them to just take a risk and start expanding interests if I didn't tell them to. Later on, when I'm scaling, I'll show you that I do use this option because Facebook has enough data and it knows what my cost per purchase is. Now I selected my basic targeting, age, interests that I think would be relevant to my product and the audience that I want. I see that I still have 4.5 million people in here, which is a lot. Trust me, I love big audiences, but when I'm first testing out a product, then I won't start with that big. I'd like to keep it around, let's say, 1 million, but it depends. Anyways, I'm gonna show you something else that I do to narrow audiences without narrowing my targeting so much. So what I'm going to do is I'll click narrow audience and I'll use something that I love using, which is engaged shoppers. This is very simple, but it helps me lower my targeting. You see that I just dropped it by more than half. And what does engaged shoppers mean? It means it's people who saw an ad with the shop now button and they clicked on it. So what does that tell me about my audience? Very simple. It tells me my audience is used to buying online. They are interested in buying online. They are familiar with it. They know how to do it. It's not their first Facebook ad. They're not going to think it's a scam and so on. It's people who are comfortable. So why would I market to 4.5 million people when I could market to 2 million people who have actually clicked on an ad in the past, and especially a Shop Now ad? That's it in terms of targeting for my first ad set. And I'll show you why later on, because I test several ad sets at a time. So on my first one, I go as wide as possible without too much targeting, with just my idea of my ideal customer. Very simple. You could spend days on audience insights like other people are teaching you to do by comparing what magazines people read, what pages they like, and so on. All of that is useless. You'll spend all your time targeting. You won't be able to scale the product. These methods worked maybe 2 years ago, but even 2-3 years ago. It's done today. No one who's doing big money online is doing that anymore. So that's it. Again, I'm gonna go over it with you. I go purchase here, one country at a time. Age group, I could do a few age groups at a time, but I need to make sure that the start and end of the age fits between Facebook's age groups. So here I did 35 to 65 plus. You don't see me doing 30 to 37, which mixes two age groups and doesn't tell me where the purchase is made. Gender, I still don't know enough about my audience for who's gonna buy. So I'm leaving men and women. Here I'm not spending a lot of money. I'll show you how I set up my budgets. So I don't care if the money's wasted. I just want to collect data and see what works and see what doesn't work. Language, if I'm in the US, I usually leave it blank. I don't care. Everyone speaks English. Detailed targeting, I chose parents because I think this product will be very appealing to parents with young children. And then to cut up my audience by half and have some sort of targeting that at least assures me that people are buying online and are used to buying online, I'll use engaged shoppers. That's it. I turned off expand interest because it's my first ad set. I haven't had any sales yet with this product. Again, I'm talking as if it was a new product. I've had sales with this product. So I took off the expand interest because Facebook doesn't know my cost per conversion, so they can't possibly bring me a lower cost per conversion. This would just expand my audience and make me waste money. So I turn it off. And now again, placements, which is a huge part of targeting, is placements. So what did I tell you in my last lessons? Never use automatic placements. Again, most of the time, if it says recommended, it's not good for you. You go to edit placements, and I'm a very simple person. I'll start with one placement at a time. Because why? I want to know which placement is performing. If I put together too many placements, the money won't be spread out evenly, and I'll never know I'll know which placement is performing, but I won't know which placement could have performed better. So I don't use a lot of placements at once. When I'm scaling, yes, I do. So you have to differentiate between scaling and original targeting. Right now we are doing targeting. We're starting out a campaign. We're starting out a product. We're doing regular targeting. We are not scaling yet. Devices, what did I tell you about devices? Never desktop only unless you're selling a business app, a SaaS app, something people need to create an account on, log in, stuff like that. Something that people need to be comfortable at a desk. But for B2C, consumer products that you're doing on Shopify or ClickFunnels, physical products, absolutely never use desktop. It'll burn through your money for absolutely no reason. I go mobile only. And then, very simple, I untick everything. I want to test one thing at a time. I want to test the Facebook newsfeed. That's all. If my product doesn't perform on the newsfeed, I know it's not going to perform on any of these. Specific devices, I'll go all mobile devices, and later on when I look at my reports, I'll see what converts best, Android or Apple devices, and then I'll focus on that one when I'm scaling. Not sure why here it's showing me in shekels, but let's see if I could change that. Just give me 1 second. All right, had to change the settings and create another account, but I'm back here, and just 1 second. I forgot something here. Engage shoppers. Again, this is a new account that I just did to be able to show you in US dollars. It's an ad account that I don't use. That's why a lot of the stuff is not set up already. I specifically made it just for the course. Anyhow, we're here at 1.9 mil. Just like before, we still have the targeting, all 35 to 65 plus, engage shoppers. placements. I'm on edit placements. I'm on mobile only the news feed. And now I'm going to show you a bit about how I do my budgets. I keep it very simple, and I'll tell you what. If I'm selling the product at $24 and it costs me $4 approximately to ship it, I have 20 bucks to play with. So I will do half of my profit. I'll make the budget ad set that. So on this product, let's say $4.30, I sell it for $23.97, $24. I have 20 bucks to play with, let's say. Then my budget on my original ads will be half of that. It'll be $10. This is for when I'm starting out an ad set and I want to be able to test as many ad sets as possible and as many as different targeting combinations as possible. And the reason I do that is because if an ad set absolutely sucks, the most I'll spend on it is half of my profit. Meaning if another ad set just gets me one sale, then I break even. I'm not at a loss. If I put here 50 bucks and the ad set doesn't work and I don't keep an eye on it, then I'll be out $40, let's say, or 50 bucks or whatever it is, even if I get a sale on another ad set. So that's a very risky strategy. You don't do it when you start out. You do it later on when you're scaling and you have enough ad sets that are performing well to cover your losses on the ad sets that don't perform well. But when you're starting out a new ad set, you want your budget to be half of your profit on a sale. That way, if I don't get a sale, I just lost half of my what could have been profit, which another ad set hopefully covers. So it's at $10. If my product was making me 50 bucks profit, then my daily budget would be 25 bucks, even if I'm just starting out. All right, because you need to give a chance to Facebook to bring you a sale. It might not be your first click to sale, it might not be your 10th, but it could be your 30th click. So if you're profitable enough to make 50 bucks, you can afford to spend the $25 to see if you'll get a sale. But if I'm only making 20 bucks profit, then the most I want to spend on an ad set is $10. And the reason why is because I test hundreds of ad sets at a time. At the beginning, you're not going to test hundreds, but even if you test 5 or 10 different ad sets in a day, then you want each ad set to be half of your profit. If not, you will lose a lot of money for absolutely no reason, just to collect data. So again, my budget is usually half of the profit on a sale. Then I'm going to go to continue. And now it's going to be time to create ads. What I'm going to do is I'll jump into my other ad account where I did market this product just to show you how the ad is. So just give me a second. I'm going to show you how the ad is and I'll explain to you the psychology behind the ad and why I do it that way and why targeting is not so important when I'm making my ads. All right, here is my exact ad. I'm not hiding anything from you. I will hide the name of the site, so obviously you don't see my exact site, but this is the ad that I used and this is the strategy that I used. Everyone else is get yours now with a link, sale, crazy stuff like that just looks spammy. What I'm doing is I instill fear into people in order to get them to buy. I want to catch their attention. So I start off my ad with save thousands on your kids' medical bills. Why? I'm targeting parents, right? So what do I want them, what are parents most worried about? Kids' medical bills, especially in the United States. Then I tell them what to do in order to save. Stop using dangerous cotton swabs to remove earwax. It causes irreversible damage and pain. I put an emoji to get a little attention. Get our name of the product with another emoji, 40% off today, plus free shipping. Boom. My headline is the name of the product, 40% off. Then I add what it comes with, like an added bonus. Comes with 16 washable tips. I use the shop now call to action. I always put my domain name .com/free shipping, again, to let people know it's free shipping. And that's it. That's how simple it is. But my ads are not spammy. They look like real ads. It looks like something you need. Something you literally need. If you want to save thousands on your kids' medical bills, stop using dangerous cotton swabs. I give them a reason why they should buy this. I am not just saying, oh, cool product, as seen on TV, or whatever nonsense other people are writing on their ads these days with pointing a link and that's it. Get yours now, sale, 50% off. No. There's ad copy here. There's copywriting here. It's extremely, extremely important, especially when you're going after wide audiences. Now you can see why this appeals to a wide audience and why even my first ad set could target a couple million people. Because there's a couple million people who are going to want to save thousands on their kids' medical bills, and they're going to want to stop using dangerous cotton swabs to remove earwax because it causes irreversible damage and pain. And that's what I'm telling them. So you have to understand a lot about how to write your ads. It's not as obvious as it seems, and everything else that you see people doing doesn't necessarily work. This is how I do it. You'll see that there's 462 likes, 146 comments, 344 shares. Now on top of it, I want to show you that this is a video ad. So I just use a video ad. I'm going to pause it. There's no point in showing you the whole ad. What I do want to show you was the thumbnail. You saw that it's a colorful thumbnail. It's a loud thumbnail. It attracts attention. It stops people while they're browsing their news feed. The I need this here, I just added on using Camtasia, which is a software for video editing, and I recommend you get a software. Camtasia is $200. You don't necessarily need Camtasia, but I do recommend that you get into video editing a bit so you know what you're doing. You could add your logo and things like that. Now you'll see also here, with Camtasia, I added a little arrow that points down to the Shop Now button. The arrow is dynamic, so it appears. You see it appear. And that's it. That's how you get a good ad. Now I'm going to pause this. And I'm going to show you even how I found the ad. I just browsed Facebook to find the video, and then I used a video download site to download the video. And I'm using someone else's video. And that's just the nature of the game. If you know, that's just how it works. Chances are whoever I took it from someone else, and so on and so on and so on. If a product does very well for me, I might go make my own video. But at the beginning, absolutely not. So this is how I go with very wide targeting simply by writing good ads and targeting a generic audience. Now, I'm going to close this off with part one as my Facebook ads targeting, and then I'll show you part B a bit more how I test out a bunch of different ad sets to see different results, and I'm going to give you the examples of what I'm doing. Now, I want you to take a look here. You'll see my relevance score on this ad is 9. 9 with an audience of a couple $1 million. Not couple $1 million, couple million people in an audience. I don't see a lot of people do this. So use my strategies, learn from me. You paid me, apply what I'm teaching you. Don't focus on what you've learned before about targeting, deeper targeting, audience insights, and all that. I did everything I just showed you now, and I didn't even log into Audience Insights. I didn't research any magazines that my audience reads. I didn't have to learn about my audience. No, I used the most basic stuff. Who would buy this? Ideally, the first thing that jumps to my head is parents. Why would parents buy this? Because they want to save money on their kids' medical bills. That's all. Why do they buy it? Because cotton swabs have a bad reputation. So I instill even more fear. It causes irreversible damage and pain. Who is not going to spend $25 to avoid that? Absolutely everyone. And then I'll show you later on my retargeting ad. In part B, I'll show you my retargeting ad to show you how I write it and how powerful it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's 30 minutes, but I'm here to deliver value. I am not here to give you bullshit that's going to make you run around in circles and so on. I give you actionable tips. This is what you should be doing. This is what I do. If you want to follow me, if you want to do how I do, be my guest. And if you don't, then, that's your problem. What do you want me to tell you? All right. Thank you. I'll catch you in the next session.